And whenever you want me to go into the Stephanie Brown thing, just let me know so that I can take a sip of water, take a deep breath, and see how coherent and sane I manage to keep myself.
Now seems like a decent time, unless...
Okay, so I can't really comment about before Frank Miller's book, The Dark Knight Returns, comes out. And yes, I promise this is actually relevant to where I'm going. Just context drop first for those who don't know about it. So Frank Miller in Dark Knight Returns does a thing about an older Batman who's retired, goes back into fighting the fight as Batman, and he gets a new Robin, Carrie Kelly, who was the first female Robin and was a big deal. I don't know to what extent women readers were asking DC, hey, can we get a girl as Robin? I know that there was some, don't know exactly how widespread it was, but after we get this thing with Carrie Kelly as Robin, there's a bunch of women readers who are like, hey, guys, how about you just go ahead and bring Carrie Kelly in, or just give us a girl as Robin? And eventually, when they do a thing about how Tim Drake, the then current Robin, was putting up his cowl for a little bit, they decide to do a storyline where Stephanie Brown, who was an existing character that had connections with Tim and therefore to the Bat family, winds up getting the job to be Robin. And Bill Willingham is writing the main Batman book at the time, and Bill Willingham decides to give us a storyline about how the people who have been asking for a girl to be Robin are dumb because Stephanie Brown sucks at being Robin. According to Bill Willingham, decrementing the counter again, fuck Bill Willingham. And then, oh, and then,
full villain voice.
Bill Willingham gives us the War Games storyline. Where he's like, yeah, guys, I know I gave you a story that was all about how Stephanie Brown was stupid and had to be fired. I'm not done yet, guys. So he writes a storyline where Stephanie Brown is trying to get back into the job of being Robin by taking a set of plans that she had gotten a hold of while she had access to the Batcave about how Batman was laying the groundwork for taking over organized crime in Gotham, using a superhero who, as far as most people knew, was actually a villain as his figurehead. But the key to the thing was an identity, Matches Malone, that Bruce Wayne created to allow him to pose as a criminal to get information and intel and infiltrate operations to bring them down. And of course, he's not in the loop on this one when she pulls the trigger on this plan, and it winds up with her being brutally murdered. It's like Willingham looked at Jason Todd being beaten to death with a crowbar in Death of the Family and said, hold my beer, tortured.
He made it worse.
For hours, just grotesquely brutalized, portrayed generally off panel, but with sound effects to make it absolutely clear that you know something horrific is being done here. She's tortured to the point of being near death when Batman finally gets her, takes her to Dr. Leslie Tompkins, who is a supporting character for those of you who don't know. She is one of the two people, her and Alfred were the ones who had been established as being Bruce's primary caretakers in the immediate aftermath of the death of his parents. She was written as the ultimate pacifist who, even if someone held a knife to her throat and tried to threaten her to do something, she would not lift a hand in anger or in violence against anyone. And Bill Willingham writes a comic where, while Stephanie Brown is in the care of Leslie Tompkins, who has healed more than one person who has attempted to personally murder her, who believes that life is sacred, all life, regardless of who you are. I think she's actually been stabbed by someone and only paused long enough to bandage her wounds to give them the treatment they need in order to recover from whatever their wounds were. This is the person that Bill Willingham writes a story where she lets Stephanie die in order to teach Bruce a message about having kid fucking sidekicks.
Oh my
Fuck Bill Willingham.
Oh, no. It's horrific.